Team Rocket will never fall. All Pokemon exist solely for the use of Team Rocket.
There are rumors that Team Rocket has disbanded, but its truth remains a mystery.
So yeah, what did happen to Team Rocket? It feels like after the Gen 2 Pokemon games, they just kind of disappeared forever, and that doesn't feel right, you know? So one thing that inspired me to make this video was I was rewatching all of Pokemon Generations, and I thought, yeah, Giovanni did seem determined to bring Team Rocket back. Is it possible that this could happen in a future Pokemon game, and maybe even as soon as Gen 8? Well, to go and understand this a bit more, we have to check out the Pokemon timeline. That's right, guys, I faked you out. This is actually a Pokemon timeline video, but seriously, we need to understand how long this has taken, and also the events in between to see if Team Rocket has a chance of a comeback. So we can just start off at the original Pokemon games Red and Blue, but at the same time the events of Red and Blue were taking place, we also have Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire versions, so Gens 1 and 3 are tied together. 3 years later, we have the events that take place in Gold and Silver version in the Johto region, and this is just kind of made apparent through all the different storylines going on, running into Red at Mount Silver, and also Team Rocket trying to search for Giovanni, bring their boss back, and revive Team Rocket. While also at the same time, Team Galactic was doing their thing in the Sinnoh region. And already, just by putting a few games on the Pokemon timeline, it gives us a very interesting perspective. That Team Rocket was not the only villain organization ruling the Pokemon world with an iron fist for years. There was other teams doing their own thing, and arguably those could be seen as much more ambitious, you know? Oh, Team Rocket, they're just like a mob organization making money and kind of, you know, committing crimes still in Pokemon. Pretty bad, but at the same time, we actually want to, like, rebuild the world using Pokemon that control space and time. Like, these legendary objectives that the other villain organizations had were a lot more out there, and even when you break it down in Gold and Silver version, Team Rocket wasn't doing anything super evil. Like, yeah, they were screwing around with radio waves and forcing evolution, which could be powerful, but for the most part, they were also trying to get their boss back because they were kind of helpless without him. So that kind of adds something a bit different to the whole discussion. And then after at least another 3 years, we had the events of Pokemon Black version and White version. Now, we don't have like an exact time frame, and there are some things that kind of get in the way of how long this could have taken, but either way, we go 3 years in the Black and White version, and then we have Black and White 2, which happened 2 years after that, as well as the events of Pokemon X and Y, and then 2 years later than that, we have Pokemon Sun and Moon. So, from our first interaction with the Pokemon games, you know, that our first visit to either the Hoenn region or the Kanto region, it is at least 10 years, and now we're in modern Pokemon. I mean, Giovanni already looked like he was in his 40s, so this man is getting pretty old and waiting quite a long time to revive Team Rocket. Now, I don't know where else he might add another part of storyline, like maybe 8th generation is happening at the same time as Pokemon Sun and Moon. Can they squeeze something else in with Pokemon X, Y, Black and White 2? Or are they just going to add a couple more years? Oh, the year after, Giovanni's like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be the one that makes all these evil organizations show that Team Rocket's the best. We're gonna be successful this time. You know, there's a lot of pretty crazy things that happen. But then another thing to consider is that there isn't any mention of Team Rocket in the 7th generation game. So again, 10 years later, and yeah, it seems like Team Rocket's faded to obscurity. Even 7 years after the events of what happened at the radio tower, still nothing really going on. And then the only direct mention of Team Rocket that we've had since then was actually in Pokemon Black and White version. So again, only a couple years, just the immediate storyline after, and that seems like Team Rocket has been completely forgotten for at least the last 4 years, which makes it even more wild to think about, but it is kind of cool that we see this right here. Oh, a member of Team Rocket I was, long time gone. So yeah, go to Icero City, you can actually see the Team Rocket member that stole the machine part in Gold and Silver. So this was actually one of the big players, or at least, you know, someone that was really trying to bring Team Rocket back. However, he gave that up. He's got a wife and a kid now, and that's also why the 3+ years seems a bit off, because he was able to get his wife pregnant, wait the 9 months, and then that kid's already walking around and talking and admiring his dad. So it could be even more than 3 years from those events, and I think that's also another thing that kind of makes it to where it's an ambiguous amount of time. So we could be looking at even longer scale that Team Rocket has not been relevant. So let's actually try to think back to the last time Team Rocket did something big, you know, going back to the radio tower. Was this successful? Did Giovanni ever hear their message? And is Giovanni actually still determined to revive Team Rocket? Well, fortunately for those Rocket members that actually went through all that work, it was heard by Giovanni, and we find this out through the Celebi event in Heart Gold and Soul Silver version. Also, we get a little bit of a callback to it in Pokemon Generations. So as we can see right here, Giovanni, we stop him. We stop him from rebuilding Team Rocket that in this little cutscene right here. I'm on my way to Goldenrod City to answer the call and join my team. And we kind of break down the entirety of this little cutscene, you know. He seems very determined. You know, when he's talking to Silver in this flashback, and then Silver runs away to become a strong trainer on his own and not rely on an organization of potentially incompetent grunts, he says, so one day I will form a stronger organization. After that, he says he's on the way to answer the call in Goldenrod City, but then you defeat him, and things kind of get... This is where it kind of hurts the theory, because after I rewatched all the Pokemon Generations episodes, I was determined. I was like, yes, maybe Team Rocket will come back in a future Pokemon game, but then I remembered the cutscene. And then after going through it, you know, Giovanni, he just like sits in the corner and he ponders a little, you know, were the past 3 years a waste? And then even after that, there's a little comment, I feel sorry they don't know he's not coming. And it also makes it a bit more sad because the Team Rocket grunt that we encounter that settles down and has a family that also stole the machine part, he didn't know that Team Rocket was thwarted by you. He didn't know that Giovanni wasn't coming back. Like, he was completely oblivious. He's like, I'm gonna be the one that contributes. I will no longer be a grunt because I'm doing all this great stuff for Team Rocket. But by then, it was already all in vain, which is pretty sad to think about. And then he just settles down and has a family. So is this really just like a coming of age story in a way that, you know, the grunts, they're just misguided kids in a way. They get sucked up by the evil organization because it's just the best way. It's like the best option that they have in their lives potentially. Or maybe they do want the power, maybe they do want the money. But as they grow up, as they realize, maybe it's not cool to be the bad guys, or you know, oh man, our leader has been defeated. You know, a lot of Team Rocket does band like that. Some of them came together and tried to rebuild, but for the most part, it seems like Team Rocket could be gone just off of that. However, we do have to think about what happened with Giovanni and Silver. That this interaction also gets a little bit more clouded by the Pokemon Generations episodes, because as he's like leaving Silver, you know, it says, I promise I will revive Team Rocket. And then if we're supposed to pick this up from the Heart Gold Soul Silver cutscene, that's where he's defeated. But I'm wondering, does that mean it's the end? Does him saying the past 3 years have been a waste? Does that mean it's over? Does he realize right then that Team Rocket is done for good? Or is this maybe him just going back into hiding for a couple more years, making sure his plan is perfect? And now just think back to the timeline, because it seems like that the Team Rocket revival could only take place either during or after Pokemon Sun and Moon version. So if you go back any further, remember, there were no mentions of Team Rocket. Like, that would have been really crazy. There was like some kind of teaser like, oh, Team Rocket is trying to pull something in the Kanto region again, if we got that in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Or maybe that could also tie in with Lily, because Lily went to the Kanto region in Pokemon Sun and Moon timeline, but Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon timeline is an alternate story. So there's like a lot of alternate timelines and multiverse theories and weirdness that's kind of like meshing together, especially now with a whole nother world for the Ultra Recon Squad. It's getting a little complicated, but I think that this would be a nice way of bringing it back to a simple degree. Also, I mean, the Team Rocket grunt's kid, my dad used to have a cool job in a faraway region. He sounds excited. Maybe the revival of Team Rocket won't be the original grunts and everything. It'll be the next generation, and maybe that'll bring Team Rocket or Giovanni back. Maybe he'll think like, oh yeah, maybe I can do it with this new group. Maybe I can do it with all these new Pokemon, all this new power, and all like the developments that have happened in Pokemon region. I'm honestly 100% convinced that Silver isn't going to do it. Like, you know, he seems determined enough to be nothing like his father, and also he discovered a lot about himself as well in the Generation 2 storyline. He wanted to become powerful on his own, and they also realized that you need to respect and love your Pokemon instead of just use them like tools. So I don't think we're going to get the double cross, but it would be awesome. It would be awesome if we had Silver come back as like just either side character, pseudo-protagonist, antagonist, you know, kind of like how Lance was in Gold and Silver version. You know, he's there, he's helping us out. I think that'd be pretty cool if Silver was like, I heard my father start Team Rocket again, I have to take him down. That's a part of the 8th generation story. So I think that's kind of it. What do you guys think? Do you think Team Rocket has fully disbanded? Do you think the the cutscene in Heart Gold Soul Silver, that was it? It's done. Everything else we've been shown, even like the black and white, you know, that's kind of Game Freak burying Team Rocket. Even if it's in the side, if it's a random house in a random city, you know, that's him saying, yeah, Team Rocket, they've grown up. Giovanni, it's been 3 more years, and it doesn't seem like he's tried to make an attempt to come back. Looks like it's done for good. Or do you think there needs to be some kind of conclusion with Team Rocket? Like, that's the only thing that's keeping me going right now with this theory, is that I feel like they shouldn't just end it the way it was. We honestly need a resolution that isn't buried in a remake game time paradox by a limited time event Pokemon. I feel like we do need a proper conclusion to the Team Rocket saga, especially since that's how Pokemon began. I'm not saying that they should do like last generation ever, you know, in Pokemon by bringing back Team Rocket and shutting it all down, thus concluding every villainous thing, you know, the protagonist, someone will prevail and take down the evildoers. I don't think they need to do it like that, but you know, they start with Team Rocket, and I think that's one of the callbacks that we've been missing. We have X and Y version where we get the starters and we also get Megas for the original Kanto starters. We have Alolan form Pokemon of the original Kanto Pokemon, but after that, it's been just new villain organizations every time. I think it's been long enough to where it's fair to miss Team Rocket. I think we can go back to classic instead of having new people just popping up doing their own things in the region. I want to see the old school guys. You know, we know Team Rocket's multi-region. And Giovanni's pretty powerful, so that'd be cool if they brought it back. And I think that's kind of what I have to say about it. So, hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.